Today we are going to be discussing the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. I'm going to be sharing with you guys some differences that they have made, some obvious differences like the exterior design, but some not so obvious differences that they have with this new model year. After all, I know you guys like to see some of those hidden features, so we're going to be talking about some of those not so obvious changes now on the 2025. They've made some slight tweaks with the powertrain, but we're going to be getting a new powertrain option here in about a year from now, so summer of 2025. We'll talk details on that in this video. We're going to have the larger touchscreen display in this Subaru. However, if you don't like the larger touchscreen display, but you want to opt for maybe the smaller, older generation display, there is sort of kind of a workaround for that. It's not a perfect workaround, but I'm going to talk more details in this video. So if you like that older display, and then we are also going to be talking about some of the interior design elements that have changed. They made quite a few changes, not just with the seats, but the interior design, the overall ride quality. And of course, I know a lot of you guys have asked about the auto start stop. Have they made any changes? Can we turn it on and off? Is there a way to permanently turn it off? And what have they changed? Because they have revised this a little bit. They made some tweaks that I think you all will be very pleased with. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Alex. I like to share weekly videos just like this, all on Subaru related topics. If you have any questions at all, leave those down in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer those for you. And I do spend a lot of time filming these videos, providing as much value as I possibly can for you guys. So if you wouldn't mind clicking that like button down below, that goes a long way and I would really appreciate it. Let's start with the exterior design. In front of me, I have a 2024 model. If you look at 2019 through 2024, those are virtually going to be identical. They did a refresh in 2022 with the headlight design having sharper angles, but despite all that, it is the exact same for that entire generation. So this is what the front grille looks like on the older one, and also a side profile. And then when we hop over to the new 2025 model year, you're going to see an emphasis on the width. Now, despite this looking like a wider, larger vehicle, looks a little boxier, it's not any bigger. The dimensions are virtually the exact same, but of course with this long horizontal grille, that makes this look really wide. When we come around to the side here, a lot of people have said that this looks bigger than the previous model year, but it's actually, like I said, the exact same. And of course, coming around to the back, you have this bit on the back here, this trim piece. It does emphasize that width. And then of course you see, this is something a lot of new automakers are doing. They have this three-dimensional embossed Forester in the back of the hatch. All of the colors on the new Forester remain the same with the exception of this color you see here in front of me. This is the new River Rock Pearl. It does have a little bit of a metallic finish on it with that pearl flake. It's kind of hard to see in today's lighting, but this is kind of a gray or a variant of the cool gray khaki that Subaru has had previously. Another important thing to note is they do have a slight upcharge on this specialty color. It's $395 for this new color, just like they did in the 24 Crosstreks with the Alpine Green and the Offshore Blue metallic. Here's a peek at the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. You heard me right. They do not have a turbo engine, and I don't believe Subaru has intentions of bringing a turbo engine to this car. The horsepower and torque has slightly been tweaked on this when it has 180 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. When you compare this to the last generation, it had 182 horsepower, so actually more horsepower in the last generation, but the torque was at 176. So slight difference in torque, and off the line, this is going to feel just as good, if not better, for those who are looking for just enough power to get you accelerated, whether you're passing somebody or getting up on the highway. Subaru did announce though that while we don't have it yet, we are going to have the non-plug-in hybrid available about a year from now, so look out for details on that. Hopefully those will be arriving in summer of 2025. Because the powertrain remains virtually unchanged, you're also going to see identical fuel economy. So this has a combined fuel economy of 29 miles per gallon, just like the outgoing model. And we still have Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive that we've come to know and love, and the same 8.7 inches of ground clearance. Up to this point, the Subaru Outback has been the only Subaru that has the hands-free power lift gate, or essentially what you would do is you would hold your hand right here in front of the Subaru logo and your power lift gate would open. Well, what Subaru did with the Forester is they actually made it a kick-activated power rear gate. So assuming your Forester has the power rear gate, which all but the base and the premium package 11 have the power rear gate, so about 90% of the Foresters you're going to see are going to have this feature. As long as you have your key in your pocket, you walk up to the back of the car, and right below the center of the star cluster logo, you just kick your leg up like this and you'll hear it beep. It'll open up automatically for you. Now you can still operate it from your key fob or with the buttons right here to open and close. But if you do want to close it with the kick activated feature, you just look for your latch right there, do the same thing. You kick your leg like that. You'll hear 3 beeps telling you to step away, and the power rear gate is automatically going to close. Now, if this does come down on you, you don't get out of the way in time, this does have an automatic feature where if you do interrupt it, it will actually automatically stop so it doesn't close on you. Here's another angle just to show you guys how easy this is. So you have your key fob with you, you can have it in your pocket. You just take your foot right here, kick below the logo, you hear a beep, and it opens up just like that. Same thing, you kick right here, you hear the beeps, and it will close. Now, I'll let it actually come down on me just to show you. Just like that, it goes back up all on its own. We'll hop around to the front of the car here in just a moment. I'm gonna show you some of the more significant changes that may not jump out at you right away. But before we do that, I did wanna show you some cool things. They changed the cargo cover. Now it has just one little handle, makes it very easy with one hand to open and close that cargo cover. And then of course this one is a limited, so it has those quick release levers. But I wanted to show you the size of what this looks like because we're gonna compare it here in just a second to the 2024. Now we will compare here to this 2024 Subaru Forester. We have the handle here. It's all right, it's not too bad, but it is a little harder to get those lined up in the tracks. And then there is no quick release lever on this one because it's the premium trim, it's not the limited. So you do have to reach up there to release your seat. We'll do that real quick and show you guys that the size is virtually the same inside. These cargo covers do come out, by the way. It's very easy. They are spring loaded, so you just pull on them like that, give them a tug, and they come out. And the Forester has a little storage area down below here where you can store your cargo cover just above the spare tire. Something else I just noticed is that the back plastic portion of the tailgate has these little indentions. They kind of look like cup holders. I don't know what they would be used for, maybe upside down cup holders. I don't know, let me know down in the comment section below. Of course, I'll ask Subaru and see if I can find out what that is, but let's get creative. Let me know what you guys think that might be used for down in the comment section below. Now we're gonna hop inside here. These are personally, in my opinion, the most significant changes that they don't jump out at you, but I think make the 25 that much better than the outgoing generation. And first, we're gonna be looking at the seat design. Something also I just noticed, this is a limited trim level. It has blue stitching. That's new for Subaru. They've, as far as I know, never had the blue stitching in the limited trim. I'm not sure yet if that's on the other trim levels, but it is cool to see some different design characteristics played out through here. But one of the biggest changes they've made is they redesigned the seat base, the back, and the headrest. Subaru worked with a Japanese research company, a medical institute, to design these to not only be more comfortable, but also reduce driver fatigue and reduce the risk of whiplash. So you'll notice this headrest is now fixed. I know that may bother some people depending on how you like to position it in the older generation, but this is fixed and that is designed to reduce any whiplash that you may receive on an accident. And if you take a look down below here, this seat is mounted directly to the chassis versus being up on brackets. Now the difference here is the ride quality, the vibrations, and how those are transferred to the drivers and the people up front. This reduces that vibration and road noise. Now we're back over at the 2024 model Forester. If we look at the headrest, it has had for many years now this ratchet style headrest to get a different angle depending on how tall you are. And then down below here, you will notice that there's a lot of empty space down here. It's more hollow, and the base of the seat is actually mounted to these brackets. Not only are the seats a lot more comfortable in this newest generation Forester, but Subaru also increased the insulation up top, in the roof, in the floor, and in your wheel wells. So this will help provide better ride quality because it's going to be quieter, especially on those rainy days when you have water slushing up in the wheel wells. That additional insulation there is going to provide a quieter ride. Speaking of quieter ride, the initial startup is going to be just about the same as the previous generation, maybe slightly quieter, but not a big enough difference for me to notice. But where you do see a difference, or at least where I have seen a significant difference, is in the auto start stop. So a lot of people have had strong opinions on this over the years. The auto start stop is the feature that shuts the engine off to save on fuel and decrease emissions. After all, Subaru is going to make every effort to try to do things that are better for the environment. But if you want to turn that off, you can still do so just by tapping right here. That turns it off. It will stay off until you restart the car and turn it back on. Whenever you turn it back on, it's going to be lit up green again. It's going to default on, but it takes a millisecond there. You tap it, it turns off. Now, what they have changed is how loud that restart is for the auto start stop. I'm going to try to do this now to show you an example of what it feels and looks like. So here is what the auto start stop sounds like. We're going to come to a complete stop. Engine's off, and then I'm going to let off the brake, and you can hear it upon restart. Now I've rolled the windows down, we're going to come to a complete stop, and I'm going to show you what it sounds like. So now the engine is off. We're going to let off the brake. Here, restart. It's a little bit louder, of course, because the windows are down, but much quieter overall than the 2024 Subaru Forester. The Forester has always been well known for its tight turning radius, allowing you to get into tight parking spaces or turn around completely in small parking lots like this one. But they did revise the power steering. So this has the dual pinion power steering, very similar to the WRX and the new 2024 Subaru Crosstrek. Here's a glimpse of what that looks like from the outside, but really it takes driving this to see for yourself how smooth and natural feeling the new steering feels. Now we're at a complete stop here. I want to show you guys what this looks like and sounds like on acceleration. So of course I had my foot pressed firmly on the gas there. Has a very smooth acceleration. It's a little bit quieter than the previous generation with the newer insulation, but overall a really good feel, and I think something that a lot of people are going to be very happy with the performance of. Next, let's talk a little bit about this larger touchscreen display. This is the 11.6-inch display that was first introduced in the 2020 model year Outback. Of course, that has since been revised, new hardware, and things have been updated to make this much faster. So it's very responsive. I have this in my 2023 Outback, same display. I'm very happy with it, but a common complaint or initial complaint that people have before owning this is that virtually everything's embedded in the touchscreen, including your climate controls. But as you can see, it's very quick, very responsive. You can even set your climate controls to auto adjust, so you don't even have to fool with the fan speed. It will auto adjust according to the temperature you set, and you can set it with these physical dials on the left and the right if yours is equipped with the dual climate control for your passengers. The Forester finally has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. If you're curious what the benefit of this technology does, if you click on the app here when your phone is connected, you can wirelessly activate your Google Maps, your Apple Maps, Waze even, Spotify, phone, so listening to music, taking phone calls, text messaging, even setting calendar events. and ordering food. So this is something that is really unique now to modern vehicles, and most modern cars now have wireless capabilities, much like Bluetooth, but it goes a step further and actually mirrors your apps up on the display. And just to give you an idea on the responsiveness of this display, my phone is currently connected to CarPlay while I'm also filming directly from it. So I'm filming this video from my iPhone and it's connected here, and I can tap in and you can see how quickly you go in and out of each of these apps. So it's very neat and very responsive. Quick little side note, all but the base trim now come with the Qi wireless charging pad. There is an on-off power button, something that I wish that I had in mind. If you've seen some of my previous videos, I paid about $340 for my Subaru Outback wireless charging pad, and I'm not a huge fan of it. This hopefully performs better, but what I do really like about this design that I wish my Outback had is how large this storage area is, because even if you're not going to use the wireless charging pad, you have a lot of room. You can almost fit a full notebook there. This serves many different cell phones, so larger iPhones or Android devices and anything else you want to store there. Just make sure that if you are going to store things like your keys or paper clips or coins, that you do turn that off. So make sure that is not lit up green. But pretty nice to see that Subaru is offering this on all but the base, and you don't have to pay extra unless you get a base trim and you really want to have that as an accessory. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this video that if you don't like this larger touchscreen display and really any of the other great features that I've mentioned in today's video that come on the new 2025 Subaru Forester, there is a slight workaround. It's not a perfect workaround, but if you're trying to buy a new Subaru Forester and you missed out on the remaining 2024s because they're no longer in production, you can get the 2025 Subaru Forester Wilderness, and it's going to have that same display that we saw in the previous generation. That's right, so your 2025 Subaru Forester Wilderness will look very similar to this with the physical dials for climate controls and radio controls, with the 8-inch display coming out to the edge of this frame. This is a 6.5-inch display, just to give you an idea. I don't have a 24 Wilderness or even a 25 Wilderness yet to show you what that looks like. Now, I expect this to change sometime throughout the model year, maybe even this time next year whenever the Forester Hybrid comes out. We will definitely at some point see that Wilderness change over to the new design elements with the larger touchscreen display and those other features that I've mentioned to you today. It is important to note though that if you get a base trim 2025 Subaru Forester, it's not going to have this large 11.6-inch touchscreen display. Instead, it's going to have two split screen 7-inch displays. I'll show you a picture of what that looks like, and it's not going to have the wireless CarPlay Android Auto. You will have to plug in to the USB ports down below to access those same features. Even with the split screen design in the base trim, you still have your digital climate controls down in the bottom, so you don't get away from that. You're still going to have those digital controls. Overall, the new 25 Forester has a lot of amazing features and something that I think a lot of people are going to be very happy with in their new car if they decide to choose Subaru. I hope this video has helped you guys learn something new. I know there's a ton of videos out right now on the 25 Forester, so I've tried to provide something different, a little more unique, some inside info on what the new 24 Forester is all about, maybe some things that you didn't already know and some things that are not so obvious. If you did learn something new and enjoyed today's video, please remember to click the like button. As always, if you like videos like this, I make new videos each and every week on Subarus. Consider clicking that subscribe button down below. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one.